Beba, Manuela Moneke, and just last year, Victor Osimhen to win that coveted prize. So this is saying thumbs up to Ademola Lookman, the reigning Africa Footballer of the Year. And also, Nadozie was also given an award as the best goalkeeper for the female national team. And also the Falcons emerged Africa's best. So it was a moment of glory for Nigeria in Morocco yesterday. And back home, politics all the way. Lookman is saying Obasanjo and other ex-leaders must unite opposition to defeat President Tinubu in 2027. Okay. Nigeria, others explore measures to reduce $74 billion debt servicing burden. And back to politics, how festering leadership crisis weakens PDP ahead of 2027. And from politics to economy and judicial matters, the 753 forfeited Abuja duplexes, matters arising. And still staying with the judiciary, Supreme Court fines Owuru 5 million naira for frivolous suits against Tinubu. ECOWAS members explore fiscal convergence for single market agenda. And Federal Executive Council approves 47.96 trillion naira budget proposal for 2025. And high optimism as Makinde begins Shaki Iseyin road construction. And still staying with the Guardian newspaper, 792 arrested as EFCC gets tough with cryptocurrency fraud syndicate. And Tinubu others eulogize Abiola Jimobi at 75th posthumous birthday. And the court limits ICPC's authority to freeze bank account. Niger State dangles 400 hectares of land to Dangote Boa for industrialization. How we checkmated arbitrary removal of governors, deputies by Wole Olanipeko. And defense chief orders probe of Okwama leader's death. And troops arrests 29 suspected oil thieves, seize 197,000 liters of stolen diesel in Niger Delta. And NDLEA customs intercept 2.2 billion naira worth of drug at Tinkan Port and arrest suspect. And in Oyo State, police arrest 15 suspected cultists, recover guns, other item. NOA sensitizes Kogi residents on security awareness, human rights, and others. Police parade 15 suspected. Okay, we've taken that. 3 killed in a clash between Methodist Church factions in Taraba State. And PSC approves promotion of 11 CPs, 16 DCPs. That's 11 commissioners of police and 16 deputy commissioners of police. From The Guardian, we move on to The Punch newspaper, and it leads with the budget story. 2025 budget, FEC, that's the Federal Executive Council, orders final adjustments as President Tinubu presents budget on Wednesday. NNPCL supported Dangote Refinery establishment with $1 billion loan. This is according to officials of the NNPC. And nation in darkness, Syria grid collapse, huge debt, vandalism hinder the 15,000 megawatts target. And tax reforms will promote equity. This is according to President Bola Tinubu. And Lookman, yes, we saw that earlier. Lookman wins CAF Player of the Year award. And World Bank plans $1.65 billion loans for Nigeria next year. 148 Chinese, 645 others arrested for cyber fraud romance scam in Lagos. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper. 2025 budget, 13 trillion naira deficit to be financed through borrowing. This is according to the Minister of Finance. And President Tinubu appoints 8 new permanent secretaries. And still staying with the Tribune, President Tinubu renames Uni Abuja after General Yakubu Gowon. Yes, that story broke yesterday. And President Tinubu declares free train ride nationwide. Good news for travelers. And we move on to Daily Trust newspaper. EFCC largest single burst. 193 foreigners, 599 suspected Nigerian crypto fraudsters arrested. Wow, this is huge. Confusion at CCT as Omar Kogo Paris serves as chairman. And still staying with Daily Trust, federal government, World Bank to spend $600 million on rural road expansion. And TCN arrests 6 suspected vandals in River State. Police confirm 6 more deaths in Benue boat mishap. And governors aware of roadblocks we mount. This is from the Nigeria Police Force. And FEC renames Uni Abuja as Yakubu Gowon University. All right, we move on to the Nation newspaper now. On the front page story lists with the budget story. Budget 2025 balances revenue, expenditure, borrowing, says Finance Minister. And EFCC, ICPC recovered 277 billion naira, $106 million in 1 year. Okay, trade unions, students got 124 CNG buses, says agency. And Mutwang salutes Tinubu for honoring General Gowon. The Leadership newspaper is next. Experts raise concerns as Tinubu presents 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget to NAS. And for some politics, 2027, form alliance against Tinubu. Lookman tells Gowon, OBJ, IBB, good luck, Ebele Jonathan, Buhari. And this day newspaper is next now. Federal Executive Council okays 47.9 trillion naira for 2025 budgets. And Love in Focus as Mrs. Tinubu organizes 9 lessons and carol service. Tinubu urges media backing for tax reforms, says bills will create national wealth, empower Nigerians. All right, the Vanguard newspaper is next now, and it leads with this story. Killer bread, Nigerians risk cancer over use of bromide. This is according to research. And NIMASA commences monitoring of SPDC oil spill at Bonny Terminal. Alleged defamation. I didn't send anybody to beg Afe Babalola. This is according to Farotimi. And at 82, Buhari wraps up in silence and dignity in Dara. Okay, you can find that on the front page of the Vanguard. Tinubu shifts 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget presentation to Wednesday. And CDS orders investigation into death of Okwama community leaders in army detention. Presidency, Supreme Court declines to sack Tinubu. And still talking about the presidential ticket, PDP denies wooing Jonathan for 2027 presidency. Appointment of APGA members by Tinubu. President has done nothing wrong. Anambra APC Guba aspirant. An army denies claims of French military base in Borno State. How we will dismantle La Karua. That's from the Chief of Army Staff. And the Sun newspaper is next now. Knox, kudos trail INEX moves to train Benin Republic Electoral Commission. And claims of French military base in Maiduguri false, Nigerian Army. It's Nigeria Knights of Glory, Bahios, Lukman, Nadozie, Super Falcons. And Uni Abuja now Yakubu Gowon University. And we move on to penpushing.com. Penpushing.com, a source of authentic news globally. And the people leads with this: Central Bank of Nigeria to penalize banks over Naira distribution to hawkers. That's from penpushing.com. Still staying with the paper. Christmas, Nigerian government announces free train ride for 15 days. If you want the details, penpushing.com is where to go. penpushing.com.ng, and you will find the stories there. Federal Executive Council approves Nigeria's 2025 budget. And still staying with pen pushing, Nigeria's Super Falcons win Women's National Team of the Year at Confederation of Africa Football Awards. And Crimes Commission uncovers fraud in induction courses classes. NAB's largest cybercrime syndicate. And the last one on penpushing.com, education is collective responsibility of all stakeholders, says Anasaya. So those are the headlines from the newspapers. We will take a short break now. When we return, our in-house analyst is already on standby to help us navigate some of the stories in details. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. Please don't go away. The program returns in a moment.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. It's the second half of the show, and this is where we look at some of the stories in details. And in-house analyst is already in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Salman Salami.
Very good morning to you, our own Lawrence Omueti.
And Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM, and is going to use his wealth of experience as usual to help us make sense of some of the stories. Once again, welcome, Mr. Salman.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, Mr. Salami, I just couldn't get over the story since yesterday, and that's why we need to look at it first and get it out of the way before we look at some other stories. 792 arrested as EFCC gets tough with cryptocurrency fraud syndicate. And the story has it that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has disclosed a dismantling of a major cybercrime syndicate in Lagos, resulting in the arrest of 792 suspects. The anti-graft agency said among the apprehended suspects are 193 foreign nationals, including 148 Chinese, 40 Filipinos and 2 Kazakhstan, 1 Pakistani and 1 Indonesian. Addressing newsmen yesterday, the agency in Lagos, on behalf of the chairman, the Director of Public Affairs, Wilson Ojara, said the burst highlights the scale of international cybercrime activities, leveraging Nigeria's reputation as a hub for fraud. The anti-graft agency revealed that the syndicate, operating from a 7-story building in Victoria Island, used the facility to train Nigerian accomplices in executing romance and investment scams targeting Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, and Europeans. According to him, the high-end equipment, including hundreds of desktop computers and 500 locally sourced SIM cards, was recovered during the raid. Mr. Salami, this is huge.
This is sad. This is not a good news, and it's not cheery at all. I don't know that our decadence has gotten to that level. And a situation whereby Nigerians are now being trained on how to defraud.
It's an industry now, apparently.
No wonder. It is really sad, to say the least. It's really, really, really sad, and I urge the EFCC to ensure that there is consequence. We cannot keep on to reward bad behavior. We cannot close our eyes and pretend as if all is well. It is not well. It's unacceptable, and I think the hammer should fall.
Exactly, Mr. Salami. And this goes to show the level of decadence even from the home. Because I know that a few years ago, before things even got this bad, some communities in some states, you see parents look for money, buy laptops for their son when they're out of school. And what are they expected to do with that laptop? They say, just go for training. And once you have a laptop, you go for training. Even in Abuja, from areas in Maraba side, you see some of this shopping complex. You see able young men dress well, move in there early in the morning, and occupy till evening, and they leave. What are they doing? Your guess is as good as mine. And when parents start encouraging their children to do this, some of them even sell land just to sponsor them. They have various, this is just Lagos. I tell you, Mr. Salami, across the country, you have training schools, so they call them, across, where young Nigerians are groomed to become criminals, because that's what it is. Let's not butter it. Let's not butter it. And some people will sneak and say, okay, well, just let them be this and that. But you don't know the implication. You don't know how many lives have been ruined. You don't know how many businesses have been ruined just because of the activities of these misguided young ones.
Cybercrime, and you remember that we suggested something along this line when a Secretary General of the Committee of Vice Chancellors was our guest that there is the need to interrogate the issue of cyber criminals and cybercrime with a view to knowing how the role that our tertiary institutions should play in assisting. I never knew that it has gotten to a stage where we even have private companies, quote and unquote, whose duty or which duty is to train people on how to defraud. I think there should be consequence.
Exactly. Maximum consequences. And still talking about crime, Mrs. Salami, there's this story also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. NDLEA Customs intercept 2.2 billion naira worth of drug at Tinkan Port. And the story has it that the collaborative efforts of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the Nigerian Customs Service at the Tinkan Island Port has begun to yield result with the interception at the weekend of 2.2 billion naira worth of hard drugs concealed in an imported container. 2 persons allegedly linked to the hard drugs importation had been taken into custody. The NDLEA commander at the Tinkan Port said the chairman of the NDLEA described the interception as massive and commended both NDLEA. He described the drug seizure and he appreciated the Nigerian custom. Mrs. Salami, the week in, week out, we are inundated with arrests, especially by the NDLEA. So, for a moment,
kudos to the staff of the NDLEA. And we must appreciate them and commend them for their patriotism. They could have compromised, but for the love of the nation and the love of the country, they are doing what they are doing. I think we should appreciate them.
Exactly, and most of them are doing this at great risk to their lives, great risk to members of their family. Mr. Salami, remember the other day, jokingly in the newsroom, we were talking about places that we cannot work.
Of course.
And one of the places that we said we cannot work was the NDLEA because of the risk associated with that, the kind of vicious people that you are contending with every day, people who don't think twice to waste your life.
It is really sad. Really, even the very job we are doing too is a risky one, because when we begin to analyze and expose and try to uncover what they don't want people to know, it's as risky as the NDLEA job. But then we should forget about our own for now and commend these people for this patriotic work they are doing. I don't know the definition of patriotism, if not what the NDLEA staff are doing.
All right, Mrs. Salami, let's move on to the Sun newspaper, but still staying with crime and criminality. EFCC, ICPC recovered 277 billion naira, $106 million in 1 year. And the nation's 2 main anti-graft agencies recovered that amount we just mentioned now. The ICPC also made MDAs forfeit 10.8 billion naira in unspent funds. The 2 agencies secured 3,000 convictions during this period. Mrs. Salami, this is huge. This is monies that were appropriated for the good of the country. And some people decided to be smart about it.
I don't see it as being smart, rather as being unpatriotic. Why am I saying this? Because do you know the quantum amount of infrastructure that they could have put this money
into?
And it will be for our own good. Most of us don't know that when we commit crime, indirectly we are even injuring ourselves. And who knows, the road that they did not construct very well, or that has become a
death trap,
could be what will cause the death of somebody close to you.
Yes, exactly. I believe that, Mr. Or even the hospital that we refuse to fund and equip could
Will have
be
been the one that will have saved
somebody's
life, somebody very close to you. You see, I think if we have concern for others and we love others too, I think we will not be doing this. And I still want to believe that there are still good people in this country.
Absolutely.
In spite and despite all this sad news.
All right, it's still Newspaper Review, Citizen 93.7 FM. The phone lines are open. You can join the conversation. You can call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. And don't forget that you can send us a WhatsApp message on any of these numbers, or you can even make a WhatsApp call, and we will be here to attend to you. Mr. Salami, let's move on to the issue of the day, which is the budget. The president was supposed to present the budget today, but it has been moved till tomorrow. And so the Punch has the story: 2025 budget. Federal Executive Council orders final adjustment as President Tinubu presents budget on Wednesday. The federal government on Monday approved 2025 budget proposal. This follows the Senate endorsement of the medium-term expenditure framework. The president will now present the proposed 47.96 trillion naira budget to the joint session of the National Assembly. The exercise, earlier slated for Tuesday, was postponed to allow the executive arm to make final adjustment to the budget. Mr. Salami.
You see, this annual ritual called budget, which is a statement of intention, is something that we need to rethink or interrogate. Why am I saying this? We've been hearing humongous amount of money being budgeted. And there is a need for our people, we the people, to make sure that we hold government to account by looking at the budget and the item to be which they will spend the money on, and make sure that the contractors handling this budget, this infrastructure, is monitored or is made to account for the money. And how can we do this? We can only do this if we have more than a passing interest in what is going on. It is our money, and it should be spent judiciously. That is why the people should make sure that they hold the government to account, not only the federal government. We've been saying this, that the attention, the emphasis or the way we hold the federal government to account should be the way we should hold the state government and indeed the local government. Ask your senators, hold them to account, ask questions. Members of House of Rep, they are your representatives. Hold them to account. Let them tell you what they've been doing. Your governors, don't spare them. Chairmen of the local governments, they are the government very close to you. Please have interest in what is going on, or you keep short. If you look the other way, you have no reason to complain again. But it is not the best thing to do. It is only good that we hold government to account. They must account for the money. It is your money. And if they provide infrastructure, they are not doing you a favor. They are just doing what they have been elected or what they have been paid to do.
Exactly. And I like the part that you said the concentration should not be only at the federal level. Yes, at the state level and even local government level. You pick up something because no one individual can be knowledgeable about everything in the budget. You pick up one or two issues that are dear to you, are of concern to you, especially in your locality. Maybe it's the health sector. Okay, I think we have a caller here, Mrs. Salami. Let's take this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Citizen Olushola is calling from Central area.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. How's your day, sir?
Beautiful, and you?
Yes, I'm fine, sir. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I just want to buttress on what you say. Many of us, especially the color, the masses, don't even know that the government is not only Tinubu or federal government. That's why we refuse to talk about issue, and mostly we talk about individuals. Mostly. As soon as Nigeria are demanding for what is supposed to be done, I think it could have been better, but most of the time we don't do that. We only blame the central government and we forget our local and state government. Like, for example, the subsidy we are talking about, when the government removed the subsidy, I think the federal government shared the allocation and double the allocation for the state. And I wish every member of the state to even call their government and say, okay, we want subsidy back in our state. What you collect as a double money from federal allocation, use it for our own subsidy in our state. But we will not target that. That's it. Most of the time. And when we focus in the individual, to me, I don't even think that it's individual that is wrong. But the system and the restructuring of Nigeria is wrong. Why this man is trying to restructure step by step? I think that's what we need to support. If we do that, I think we may get it right. That's my take on that. God bless Nigeria. God bless you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Citizen Olushola. The numbers to call 0903 22 29797. You can also call us on 0818 22 205 or 0818 22 206. All right, let's move on to the Tribune newspaper. Yes, Tinubu renames Uni Abuja after Yakubu Gowon. The President Bola Tinubu has approved the renaming of the University of Abuja after the former military head of state Yakubu Gowon. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council presided over by the President at the Presidential Villa. It will now be called the Yakubu Gowon University in honor of former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, subject to the approval of the National Assembly. Mr. Salami.
Brilliant decision. And it's a very welcome one. Welcome one in the sense that undoubtedly General Yakubu Gowon is one Nigerian that believes in Nigeria. In fact, to make Nigeria one is a task that must be done. Was the slogan during the Civil War. And at the end of the day, he tried to ensure that we remain united. And I want to believe that the University of Abuja being renamed after, or being named after General Gowon is a good decision.
All right, Mrs. Ahmed, just in a minute, we have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Seems to have lost that call. Let's see. Okay. You can call us back 0903 22. Okay, thank you. I'll use this. Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Olushola, Citizen Olushola calling back.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. To me, it's a very welcome and good decision.
Okay.
And I don't think in Nigeria now we don't even have a good leader, a good citizen like Yakubu Gowon that university can be named after. It's a welcome and very nice decision. May God bless Nigeria. But when you look around, just look at it. That university, who again? There are many, but the best decision for now, I think, is Yakubu Gowon. Though some people may object to it, but I think to me it's a welcome decision, and God bless him as he do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Salame, please, you can go on with your thoughts.
I want to believe that we must appreciate our people, especially during their own lifetime. When you appreciate somebody after his death, I don't think it is a particularly good one. Appreciate me when I'm alive. Appreciating General Gowon while the sage is still alive is one of the best ways of saying that, oh my God, your life has been impactful. Your life has really, really affected people positively. And we want to have something that will outlive you. What we are saying in effect by doing this is encouraging people to spend life or time on something that will outlive life itself. And that is the best thing to do. The University of Abuja be in the center of the country. The decision, like the man who called said, cannot be better. It is a good decision. It's a welcome one. Of course, we don't expect everybody, if there is anything called everybody, to welcome the decision. But in the eyes of the right-thinking Nigerian, it is a good decision.
All right, Mr. Salame, let's move on to the leadership newspaper. This story, 2027, form alliance against Tinubu. Lukman tells Gowon, OBJ, IBB, and Buhari. And incidentally, almost 90% of the people he called upon are retired generals. The former national vice chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Saliu Lukman, has called on former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Muhammad Buhari, as well head of state generals Yakubu Gowon, Ibrahim Babangida Abdulsalam, to form alliance to stop President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027. He said these leaders have the huge moral obligation of engaging all opposition political parties in the country to unite in order to produce a functional political party that can serve as the harbinger of the emergence of godly leaders in the country. Salame.
Well, we all know Lukman, and without being let me be very, very careful in the use of word. It's so cantankerous. And if you call on the generals, retired generals, to form alliance against one man, is he against his government or against him as a person? What precisely do you have against him as a person? Or what precisely do you have against his government? And all the generals that he mentioned, they were in government before. And Nigerians cannot forget in a hurry their track record.
While in government.
While in government. We know the one that was in government for 8 years. And his return to democracy, what he did with it. Apart from that, we know their record, and we have not forgotten, and we cannot forget in a hurry their balance sheet. What we are saying is this: power belongs to the people, not to the generals. And the generals cannot be said in any way to control the people. Quite some of them, yes, they have followers. Quite many of them, they did their best, even if it is what I call incompetent best. Quite many of them did not do well, and their history may not record them well. But the fact still remains that ultimately, power belongs to the people. It's only we, the people, who can decide who will be our leader. And in any case, God gives power. God gives power through men. And what should determine who gets power, who doesn't get power, should be your past track record. And what you are doing now in such a way that people will say, yes, let's entrust power in his hand because he feels our pain and is delivering the bountiful dividends of democracy to the people, the welfare and well-being of the people, and performance, consistency should be the watchword, not hatred or PhD, as people do it. PhD this time around is not this doctorate degree. It's pull him down syndrome. We should not encourage that. Or what the Yorubas call Kennymanism.
Can you help us with that?
Kennymanism. If I can't have it, you should not have it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to this court story. Not many people knew that this suit was ripe for judgment yesterday. Supreme Court fines Owuru 5 million naira for frivolous suit against Tinubu. And the Supreme Court yesterday imposed a 5 million naira fine on a former presidential candidate, Ambrose Albert Owuru, for harassing President Bola Tinubu with a frivolous and vexatious suit. Owuru, who contested the 2019 presidential election against President Muhammad Buhari on the platform of the Hope Democratic Party, was ordered to pay 5 million naira to President Tinubu. Justice Owani Abba Aji issued the order against the former presidential candidate while dismissing his fresh suit, praying for the removal of Tinubu as Nigeria's president. Apart from 5 million naira fine, the Apex Court ordered its registry not to accept any frivolous originating summons from Owuru again. So at yesterday's proceedings, Owuru is a British-trained lawyer who was called to the Nigerian bar in 1982, sought to argue his case wearing his wig and gown, but he was ordered out and directed to remove his wig and gown before he could be allowed to argue his case. Mr. Salawi.
The Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Yes.
That is, you see, when they said that, yes, we are infallible, not because we are finer, but we are finer because we are infallible. You see, let's leave this to the lawyers. But I'm very sure that they have their very good reasons, which they express as bringing a frivolous and vexatious suit before them. They stop short or even lambasting the registrar for allowing such a frivolous and vexatious suit to be filed. And of course, they gave Owuru, the presidential candidate of Hope Democratic Party, their bad side of the tongue. And asking him to remove the gown and the wig before he could come before them, if you know the implication of that.
Exactly.
It only means that some of your privileges are gone. And if you dare do that, you know the implication that perhaps your New Year and Christmas will be in Kuje prison. And I will never forget what Falana told us one time that Kirikiri not be Sheraton. Well, what we are trying to say, jokes apart, what we are trying to say here is that there is the need to respect our courts. And there is the need to respect the personnel and the office of the president. You may not like Mr. President. You don't need to even like him. But that does not take away the fact that you must respect that office. The seat of that Mr. President is the symbol, collective aspiration of we Nigerians. And 4 years is not too long. Whatever you don't like about the Mr. President and his policies, wait for him till 4 years and campaign against him and tell Nigerians, how you can do it better and what you intend to do differently that will translate into El Dorado for this country. I think, I am not too sure if the 5 million naira is what we excite Mr. President. He may dash me anyway. But then I think Supreme Court has made a statement that it's not a commonplace just for frivolous, vexatious suits. And what do they call that? Something interloper.
Meddlesome interloper.
Meddlesome interloper, as they used to describe them.
Body.
I think the lesson is not lost on us.
All right, Mr. Salami, before we go, let's look at this story. Niger State dangles 400 hectares of land to Dangote and BUA for industrialization. The Niger State government has promised to allocate 200 hectares of land each to Dangote and BUA groups to establish factories at its proposed free trade zone to fast-track development and provide employment opportunities to the people. Governor Mohammed Umar Bago made the announcement when he engaged relevant stakeholders in the state. He explained that his government was opening up 5,000 hectares of land spanning from Tagwai in Boso to Shakwatu in Shiroro Council areas for socio-economic activities. Mr. Salami, I picked this story because, over the years, in the course of this program, we're always talking about the expanse of land in Niger State and how it can be put to use. When we were talking about the agri sector and everything, it seems the governor was listening, or somebody close to the governor has been listening. And this is a very good step, at least, to start.
Do you know what they call him? Farmer governor. He prefers that prefix, farmer, which is good. You see, like we are saying that Niger State as a state is more than 5 states in size. And the land is fertile. Not only Niger State. Good that is leading us on this. There is the need for us to engage in mechanized farming. If we are able to feed ourselves and even export after adding value, I'm not saying you should just plant cassava and export cassava or export tubers of yam and they will now bring a poundo machine for you to buy, which you will use. You see, we must learn to add value. When we add value, it helps us to get more. When we do that, it's when we are really into productive agriculture. Well, even if what we can still do for now is to feed ourselves, let us even do that one first. A friend told me that don't embark on 7-point agenda, even if it's just one. Do that one well first. And if you do that one well, it is good. The man is after my heart. Governor Bago, we thank you very much. Let other governors too follow suit.
Exactly, Mr. Salami. You can imagine if all the other governors open up their states to industrial, because
to agro-business.
Time was when government would decide to engage in everything. Number one, you don't even have the capacity to do this thing well. You cannot even compete with others. Open up the place and let people who have the technical skills, people who have the resources come in. All you need to do is to ensure security, ensure infrastructure in the area, and
conducive environment.
Before you know it, unemployment would go down. Then people would move back from the cities down to these places to make a living, and before you know it becomes something else. At the end of the day, it's not rocket science.
It is doable.
All right, Mr. Salami, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Hopefully, let's make it again tomorrow, same time, same station. Thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami, COO, Citizen 93.7 FM.
It's a pleasure.
All right, that's our package for the show today. We return again 8 a.m., bright and early. My name is Lawrence Sumoite. Enjoy the rest of your show.